But I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
What do we have to look forward to for Star Wars? Book of Boba Fett has just ended, so let's see what we have to look forward to. This is mainly only going to go over TV shows, novels, and video games, plus the 2 films that we barely know of, as I don't really pay attention to the comics, but I will have a list of upcoming comics at the end of the video. Star Wars Kenobi. Recently we found out that Kenobi is coming out on May 25th. That is the 45th anniversary of the release of A New Hope. Honestly, I don't have all too many predictions for Kenobi. I will say that I hope that this isn't all on Tatooine, which I believe is true from what I've seen from the rumors. We've had a couple shows already primarily take place on Tatooine. We don't need another one. Although I want Kenobi to face off against the Sith Inquisitor, which it looks like Rupert Friend has been cast as a Grand Inquisitor, so that's really cool, or some other Force user. If he does, Vader will find out and know about Kenobi. I like the idea of the last time Kenobi and Vader seeing each other is in episode 3, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. The rumor is that the two will face off in Kenobi, but perhaps it isn't actually physical. It could be a dream or some other state that isn't actual reality. Either way, this is easily the most anticipated show for me. Although Mandalorian Season 3 has more lead up to it, the characters at the forefront of Kenobi will make this series a must-watch every week an episode comes out. Star Wars Bad Batch Season 2. Bad Batch Season 1 was really fun. I don't think it filled the Star Wars void for everyone, but some of the lore dropped in the series, as well as the introduction of Omega, has made Season 2 very interesting to me. We are in the adolescence of the Empire and its creation, and this could show how the everyday person was affected by the Empire's introduction. We already got some of that in Season 1, but I anticipate seeing more of that in Season 2. I also predict that we will be getting a lot of backstory on Omega, what her mutation entirely entails, and why she seems to be so important. Is she Force sensitive? If so, where does she go? Could we see Cal Kestis if there is a time skip from Season 1 to Season 2? Another awesome aspect of Bad Batch Season 1 was the backstory we got on the Kaminoans at their cloning facility. What will most of them do now? And finally, Nala Se's arrival at Mount Tantus is massive foreshadowing to what they could do going forward. Like I mentioned before, Filoni and Favreau could be bringing us the Legends Heir to the Empire arc, in which Mount Tantus plays a huge role in. If you haven't read the series or listened to the audiobooks, I highly recommend it. Honestly, it may be my favorite Star Wars story, minus the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker. It is that good, and the characters it introduces are very dynamic and fun, which I think we could see a couple of them. One of which I don't think would be a great fit in current canon is Mara Jade, who was introduced in the series. With the several hints we've gotten, I think this is the future of Star Wars for the next 5 years. Star Wars Andor. The Andor series finished filming in September 2021. This prequel to Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, doesn't have nearly as much hype as other shows, like Mandalorian Season 3 and definitely not Kenobi. Although this may not have the hype, this could be a very interesting show, mainly due to the timeline this takes place in, before the rise of the rebellion and at the height of the Empire. It was so fun to see how quickly the Empire started to take over in Bad Batch Season 1. Now we'll see the Empire at full strength. Although I doubt we'll see big names like Darth Vader, I don't think it's too far-fetched to say that maybe Andor encounters Sith Inquisitors or potentially even Cal Kestis. It would be weird if these things happen and then he doesn't mention them in Rogue One, but I think if they introduce something along those lines, fans would love this series. Not only was Andor arguably the best aspect of Rogue One, his backstory isn't fleshed out too much, meaning that the writers could go all over the place with the series. I think this is one of the most slept on Star Wars projects, and the time period is one of the main reasons why. Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 3. Mandalorian Season 3 started filming at the tail end of 2021. If this season follows the pattern of previous seasons, we should see Season 3 later this year. With the way Season 2 ended, and Din Djarin's appearance in Book of Boba Fett, I think this series will heavily lean on the Darksaber and the Mandalore plot thread, with Grogu now back with Din. What does the future hold for the Foundling, and will Din work on his Darksaber skills? Din can be our lead into what Luke, Leia, and Han are up to at this time, as we have plenty of time before Episode 7 with the connection Grogu has to Luke. I don't think they'll be able to make Luke a main character because of the time and effort that goes into creating the CG Luke, but I hope that he pops up multiple times within Mandalorian Season 3, and I don't think that's entirely unreasonable. This could lead up to something big like Thrawn, which is what everyone wants and thinks that this story is going to lead up to. Heir to the Empire. Star Wars Ahsoka. Ahsoka is the final addition to the Heir to the Empire canonized story. This show is supposedly going to start filming in April of this year. Ahsoka has become a beloved character, and her own show is going to be absolutely fantastic. With the introduction of her in Mandalorian Season 2, and what we learned there, it seems fairly easy to see where the main plot of Ahsoka is going to go, especially with the recent confirmation that Grand Admiral Thrawn will be the main villain in Ahsoka. If you haven't seen it, the End of the Rebels TV show series has the main character Ezra Bridger getting lost with Grand Admiral Thrawn. Ahsoka, along with Sabine Wren, who is introduced in Rebels and is making their first live-action appearance, plan to go in search of Ezra and Thrawn. In her episode in Mandalorian, Ahsoka is looking for the location of Thrawn to seemingly find Ezra. This will introduce another Force user into the main focus of Filoni and Favreau's story. With Thrawn being the main antagonist in the Legends Heir to the Empire series, if Thrawn doesn't get captured, he could build his own Imperial remnant or possibly bring in the Chiss Ascendancy. We have some time for this series, but after Kenobi, this may be my most anticipated series. Star Wars A Droid Story. Star Wars A Droid Story will be an animated movie that features R2-D2 and C-3PO. This is the only movie that we know of at this point that actually has a title. Apparently this movie will present a new character as well that will be featured along with the two famous droids. Other than that, that's all we got. Honestly, this is probably the lowest on my list of upcoming projects. Star Wars The Acolyte. This series will focus on the dark side with a female lead towards the end of the High Republic. The premise of this show is very cool, as we haven't had a show or series that has a dark side user be the primary focus of the story. No, I'm not counting Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, because he turns to the dark side. He isn't introduced as a dark side user. I don't see much about filming or the release date for this yet, but we've known this series for well over a year, so hopefully this news comes out soon. I've actually really been enjoying the High Republic book series, so it'll be interesting to see what the end of this era looks like in live action. Star Wars Lando. Much like the previous two projects I mentioned, we found about this show on December 10th, 2020, but since then, I've heard very little to nothing about it. All we know is that it is going to focus on Lando, and that's kind of it. Either way, I'm down to see more Donald Glover as Lando. Other than that weird droid girlfriend he had in Solo, which I felt was a little weird, but it is what it is, he was amazing in my opinion. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. The Untitled Taika Watiti film. The Untitled Taika Watiti film is... Actually, that's all we know, really. It was announced on May 4th, 2020. We just have this stylized Star Wars logo and this promotional art. This art does have an object that vaguely resembles the starship Thoyor that appears in the Legends book Dawn of the Jedi, Into the Void. This could mean that the movie will take place far, far before the original trilogy, but this is all speculation. Now let's start talking about that paper. I'm talking about books. I will not be referencing junior novels, as I will likely not read those. But at the end of the video, I will show a list of all the upcoming Star Wars projects that are currently set for release. Queen's Hope. This young adult novel is a follow-up to Queen's Peril and Queen's Shadow, written by E.K. Johnston. This follows Padme as she goes on a secret mission while her handmaiden Sabe, however you say that, has to deal with filling in for her for a longer than usual period of time. Both of them have to face the casualties and consequences of war. Also, Palpatine is being a little sneak. Brotherhood. Brotherhood is an adult novel written by Mike Chen that follows Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker during the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan is sent to Cato Nemoidia after a deadly explosion to help investigate what happened after the Republic is blamed. During the read, we'll see how Anakin becomes a knight and he heads to help Obi-Wan, against Obi-Wan's wishes of course, but he brings along a youngling as well. I don't think that this is going to be Ahsoka, as she isn't introduced to the characters until later, but what if it's Grogu? I don't know if that'll make any sense, but that would be cool to see him during his actual Jedi Temple youngling days. Shadow of the Sith. Star Wars Shadow of the Sith is an adult novel by Adam Christopher that will focus on Luke and Lando 2 decades after the Battle of Endor, as they come across Ochi of Bestoon, as explained in Rise of Skywalker, while searching for Lando's kidnapped daughter. All this happens while Luke is actually having visions of Exegol. Now, if you don't like the sequels, this probably won't be the book for you, but I'll probably read it to see if this makes Rise of Skywalker any better. Padawan. Star Wars Padawan is a young adult novel written by Kirsten White that covers Obi-Wan Kenobi and his master Qui-Gon Jinn as Obi-Wan tries to get more adventurous in his training. Dooku has recently left the Order, causing Qui-Gon to distance himself from Kenobi and the Jedi Council. As the two are about to head out on a mission, Jinn doesn't show up to leave, so Kenobi just leaves by himself. On the planet Obi-Wan goes to, he meets up with a group of teenagers that seem to have some Force sensibility. This is going to be really cool to see, as I read Master and Apprentice and that was a really fun book to read, so seeing this follow-up to that in a way will be really fun. The Princess and the Scoundrel. This novel by Beth Revis was announced on Valentine's Day this year. The events take place just after Return of the Jedi, as Han proposes to Leia on Andor. I literally said Andor. On Endor, not Andor. Andor is dead. They head out for their honeymoon on the Halcyon Star Cruiser, which, coincidentally, is the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser ship that is absolutely way too expensive. But because this is immediately after Return of the Jedi, there are still Imperial remnants around that the two famous characters have to deal with. I think I'll read this, but why would they just leave after working so hard with the rebellion and pretending like everything is all good now? I mean, I guess we'll see. Or I'll probably see, because I doubt this book was going to have too much positivity around it because of the Star Cruiser. Now let's talk about the video games. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Developed by TT Games, who have developed every single LEGO game, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is a massive LEGO Star Wars game that encompasses all 9 main movies. The game includes dozens of characters to play as well as an open world element. I wasn't too interested in this game until the trailer came out. All of the aspects that they're including in this, such as the combo attack chains, the counters, aimed hits, traveling across the galaxy and planet exploration, could make this one of the best Star Wars games potentially ever. Jedi Fallen Order 2. Technically called Star Wars Jedi 2, as Star Wars Jedi is really the series title. This is the follow-up to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, released on May 10th, 2019, developed by Respawn Entertainment. Unfortunately, it hurts to say this, I have yet to beat this game. I want and need to do this soon, as I think Cal Kestis is actually likely to show up in one of the upcoming Star Wars projects. Anyway, this game is going to have some high expectations, as the first in the series was highly regarded as one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars game ever made. Star Wars Hunters. Star Wars Hunters is a free-to-play third-person MOBA for mobile and for the Nintendo Switch, developed by Zynga? That's what I'm going with, who have made a variety of mobile games, and Natural Motion, who have also made multiple mobile games. I personally don't know much about this game, but I like the overall art style from the trailer. We don't know the release date yet, but it could be a surprise to some mainstream gamers. It's free to play, so I'll at least give it a shot. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake. This might be my most anticipated game, although I hate to say it. I've never finished the originals, which I know I need to fix, but this is going to be big for the fandom. The Kotor Remake is set to release in 2023 and is being developed by Aspyr Media, who has developed games like Sid Meier's Civilization 6, Layers of Fear, and LucasArts re-releases of Republic Commando and Star Wars Jedi Knights 1 and 2. Star Wars Eclipse. Star Wars Eclipse is an action-adventure narrative game set during the High Republic that is being developed by Quantic Dream, who developed games like Fahrenheit, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit Become Human. Little is known about this game as it is still in early development, but the trailer just looks absolutely amazing. I don't know what it is. All I know is that I want it. Untitled Star Wars First-Person Shooter. We have an unknown Star Wars first-person shooter that we barely know anything other than the fact that it's being developed by Respawn Entertainment, who have developed games like Titanfall 1 and 2, Apex Legends, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. Untitled Star Wars Strategy Game. And then we have another unknown Star Wars game, but this one is a strategy game. Again, we don't really know anything about this game, other than that it's being created by Respawn, who is actually working with Sid Meier's Civilization's Greg Forge? I'm just going to go with Forge. Sure. But along with him and his new studio named Bit Reactor to develop it. And that is everything I could find. Let me know if I missed something in the comments below. You could see on screen a list from Wikipedia, so take it as you will, of all the upcoming books, and then you'll see the list of upcoming comics. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and consider subscribing. I enjoy making these videos, but they do take time. Videos like this that aren't reaction videos where I just record me watching Book of Boba Fett and then I cut it up. I need to make this script, record it, cut it up, and add visuals and music. The more subscribers I get, the more likely I can focus on actually creating videos. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.